What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I got some bad news from the machine shop. Apparently the engine block from the S52 needs to be bored out bigger, and it's a little bit too big to just run stock pistons. So the machine shop called, said, hey, you know, we're gonna have to go oversized pistons in this, blah blah blah, what do you want to do? So I told them, hold off on that, I'll bring you another block. So I've been sourcing another block for, I don't know, the past 2-3 days, and one of my buddies has a shop. It's called Excel Motorsports out in Rancho Cucamonga. So we're gonna head there, and he has an S52 block, said it just needs, you know, a hone, so hopefully that's gonna be correct. But he is gonna let me just pick it up, take it to the machine shop, let them look at it, and then tell me what it needs. And pretty much if it needs the same thing as my S52 block, then we're gonna have to try to source an M52 block and then have that bored out to S52 specs. So let's get on the road and let's get there. Alright guys, so package is secured. S52 block, came with pistons, crank, everything in it. So now we gotta take this home, get it disassembled, and sent out to the machine shop again, and hopefully this one works out for us. I just made a phone call to the machine shop. I guess he's on lunch right now, the guy that's taking care of my motor for me. So as soon as he gives me a call back, we're probably gonna head over there and drop this block off and make sure everything's good, and hopefully everything's good, so that way this process moves a little bit faster. So trying to get this motor done so that way I can start driving a little bit more this year. Like I said, obviously while we wait for the turbo engine, which that's just funds that have to come in so I can buy everything. It's a little pricey. What are you doing?
I'm pumping brakes.
Pumping brakes.
Be sucking though. Sup ups. Tired of it.
3 hours later.
Hold it down. Holding. Keep pumping. Pumping.
Think you're a little big for this car.
Yeah, no shit.
Nah, he fits perfectly. You gotta hit to tilt his head in there.
Just a little bit.
Hold it down, man. Holding 10.
Alright guys, so I ended up going to the machine shop with the S52 block. Ended up talking to the machinist that's up there and went over a couple of the issues that he was seeing, and which was why he was thinking I needed another block. Pretty much the issue is even though these are iron blocks, over time with these engines being so old, the block hole, like where the piston goes, starts to oval out. So he was concerned that that was going to be causing an issue with the engine. Now I told him that it doesn't have to be completely perfect, spot on, anything, because the engine will still operate and not have an issue with like a thousandth being off. So after it's all said and done, after talking to him, I brought him a piston, and he took the measurement off the piston and then also took measurements off the block that I brought him, and said that the block I first brought him, which is my engine, was within tolerance to go ahead and do. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding just over the phone, so I went ahead and took the trip up there, which was up in Yucaipa, when I took a trip up there and talked to him, went over measurements and everything, and we came to the conclusion that my block is still going to be good to use and still use my original pistons. So with that being said, he's going to get to work on that and said that he'll have everything done on that motor by sometime next week. So hopefully next weekend when I'm able to shoot this video, we'll be going and picking up the engine and seeing everything all nice and done. Now with the crank, same issue. He was having issues trying to get the right tolerance or number for the tolerance out of his books. Measurements from the actual piston to where it's going to sit in the sleeve to then the connecting rod and where that bolts up to the crank. And so with all of that stuff checked and done, he said everything should be fine. I did have one kind of big scratch inside the crank, and pretty much at the end of the day, he's going to polish it, and the polish shouldn't be that bad. For it's not going to change any tolerances or anything, and he still said eventually that that scratch is going to be in there, but at the end of the day, it's not going to hold, it's not going to be that bad. Worst case is that it's just going to hold a little bit more oil in that section, which is completely fine. A little bit more of some updates. My buddy Mitch, who is over there, and we will check on what he's doing in a minute. He finally got wheels, and well, he's had the wheels, but now got tires and got them mounted on his car. So now you can take a look at that. These are 165/50 15s. It's pretty much the smallest tire that we could find that will allow clearance into here, since we aren't gonna go with the blister fenders or the turbo fenders on this yet. Now, another thing too is we got all of his brakes squared away with this Wilwood kit with the remote reservoir. So those are all done and bled, and we pulled the carburetor off to pretty much rebuild the carburetor because it was having an issue sticking. When you would press the accelerator to full throttle, it would end up pretty much, car would end up falling on its face. So that's being done, which the carburetor's here. Went through and did a bunch of cleaning on it and then getting that rebuilt. Rich, what did you buy for this thing?
This here's the alternator bushing kit. So apparently these old alternators sit on bushings. So yeah, it was all worn out and the alternator was sitting all crooked. Looks like it was about to throw off the belt. So yeah, got replacement bushings. Still trying to figure out here.
To be honest, it was like really bad. Like you could see it when it was sitting in here that it was like crooked. And then even when you would rev the motor, it would like wobble a little bit. So I didn't know that they came with those bushings, but both of us are learning as we go with this car. Yeah, most of our experience has just been with E30s and E36s, but Mitch decided to be the oddball and buy a nice 2002, and here we are. And he went full out, like I've showed in previous videos. We went full out with a bag kit and a big brake kit for the front, and then also converted the rear because they come in drums. And we converted those to disc brakes also. And you can see the little bag setup we got back here. So I really don't know where I left off yesterday with things. I think it was working with Mitch's alternator for his 2002. Now, for whatever reason, one bushing fit correctly, the other bushing seemed to be too big. So we went ahead and held off on that project for now until he can go ahead and order some new bushings that will hopefully fit into the sleeve of the alternator. So that's kind of where that's at. But after searching for an M52 block for quite some time, I actually had a good friend of mine that I met years ago, I don't know, probably when I was 18, and used to live out towards Orange County, and we used to have like little group meetup and hang out with like all types of BMWs. At that time, we go drive through the mountains and all that stuff. But I hit him up to see if he did have an M52 block, and actually he just hit me up, I think it was today, and said that he had an M52 block and it was available for me. So we're gonna go do that right now and pick it up. He's giving me a good deal on it. So just gonna go pick that up so that way I have a spare just in case we run into another issue like this again, that I won't sell this one this time like I did my last one. But now we're on the road. Okay guys, so M52 block has been acquired. Luckily though, I got extra stuff. Sorry, I'm using my light here. Cranks in it. It's got an oil pan on it. It's got the front cover on it. So literally my buddy had it and just took the head off of it and was like, yeah, I have an extra one eventually. So here it is. I just gotta unload this thing with. All right, well, we finally made it back home. And like I said, I'll probably try to unload that engine block tomorrow after work. One, it's really cold right now, and two, my engine hoist is right here. And the truck's way up on the other side over there. And just trying to get the truck down here and do all that stuff while it's this late at night. I'll probably just hold off, wait to do that tomorrow. Plus my brother's not here to help out with that. So, but yeah, I know this video was kind of all over the place. I was trying to get a lot more done this weekend, but unfortunately wasn't able to. We did get a little bit of content done on this. Like I said, probably this upcoming weekend, we're gonna be filming the E36, doing like rollers, maybe. We'll see how that goes. But trying to put together a little cinematic. And then also I think Mitch is gonna come back over and we're going to get the carburetor put back on this thing and fire it up, make sure that's all good. So Mitch is also missing that little bushing for the alternator. Like I said, unfortunately it's weird that it didn't fit, even though we ordered it to fit his car, but I guess another company sells some, so we'll get that going on that. And some updates. I will have the S52 hopefully next weekend, so I'm gonna be able to go pick that up. I'm also trying to order some parts for that so we can get that thing put back together. I mean, as you can see, let me see if I can get over here. Got all this stuff in the way. So, I mean, as you can see, it's pretty much ready for everything to go back in. Everything's still put together in this thing. It's been using it as a storage container for the time being of all the parts pretty much that I took out or got out of the way, like the front core support, all that stuff. I just shoved it in this car for the time being as I've been trying to manage stuff. I mean, as you guys can see, I've got the S52 pistons out, the oil pump, all of that stuff. So trying to get a bunch of stuff done. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I apologize for this video probably not being as long or as entertaining, but it's kind of just what happens. You got to go here, got to go there, pick up stuff, pick up this stuff, and then you kind of run out of time. But like I said, stuff is in the process, stuff is moving. Next video should have a lot more content, information, and see where we go from there. But anyways, as always, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. See you guys later.
Just writing lines cause I feel like the champ. Heavyweight, first place, who could expect to get slapped? I'm running laps round the competition thinking no last. I just laugh, take a sip as I go and sit back.